Today we're taking a deep dive into the most popular AI semiconductor ETF on the market, also known as SOXX. SOXX is currently one of the largest AI semiconductor ETFs on the market, but is it actually a good buy? That's exactly what we're going to be finding out today. In today's video, we're breaking down SOXX into 5 categories to determine if it is actually worth a buy. Stick around because by the end of the video, you're going to have a significant advantage over other people that are looking to invest into this ETF. You're going to be able to determine if it is actually worth your investment or if it's just a poor ETF hidden by all the popularity. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump right into the video. As we mentioned, today we're going to be breaking down SOXX, or the iShares Semiconductor ETF. But before we do that, we first have to go and learn a little bit more about this ETF so that we have the full context when we go and break it down. SOXX stands for the iShares Semiconductor ETF. This is issued by BlackRock, meaning this isn't just some random ETF put together by some random company. This specific ETF has been around for a very long time and longer than 99% of the AI and semiconductor ETFs. This specific ETF was IPO'd or came into inception on July 10th of 2001, making it over 25 years old at the time of recording this video. This ETF is also one of the largest semiconductor ETFs out there, having over $44 billion of assets under management. SOXX is going to be a passive ETF, meaning it's going to track the New York Stock Exchange Semiconductor Index, which is going to be roughly 30 US listed semiconductor companies. What this also tells us is this ETF is going to be hyper-focused on the semiconductor and technology sector. So it's going to be inherently concentrated and going to be a non-diversified fund. Another important thing to note for later is that this is going to consist of US listed semiconductor companies, meaning compared to other semiconductor ETFs which carry foreign companies, this is going to carry only the ones that are listed on the US exchanges. SOXX is one of the oldest and most established semiconductor ETFs, but does that actually make it a good holding, and should you actually buy this ETF? That's what we're going to find out next. Let's get started. The first category that we're going to be grading SOXX on today is going to be the returns. So far this year, SOXX has returned 68%. If we look at the 1-year mark, that's going to be 114%. 5 years, 231%. And since its IPO 25 years ago, we're looking at a almost 2000% return. Just looking at the returns themselves, this is an incredible performance by this ETF. Another way to break down what we just looked at, over the last 5 years, SOXX has returned a 28% return annually. Over the last 10 years, that's 32%. And since the beginning, it returned an average of 13.85% annually, including its dividends. That is doing better than the S&P 500. SOXX has been a top performer when it comes to returns, but there's something worth noting. It isn't without its volatility and its downturns. We're going to talk a little bit more about this when we discuss the risks of this ETF, but very briefly, this ETF isn't only going up. There have been moments where it has been going down as well. If we take a look at the most recent charts, just in the last couple weeks, this ETF has experienced a lot of volatility. So taking into consideration this fund's age and its performance over the short and long term, having a 68% return this year and over 13% since the moment it launched 25 years ago, I'm going to give SOXX a rating of 9 out of 10 when it comes to returns. Real quick, if you've been enjoying this ETF breakdown so far, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe below. Let's get back to the video. Next, we're going to be discussing the risks of this ETF. We touched on this a little bit in the previous category, but now we're going to take a slightly deeper look into this. If we take a look at the chart for SOXX and we look at the last couple of weeks, we do see that there is a general upwards trend. While this looks good in retrospect, what does it look like on the day-to-day? I want to point out this specific peak and where we are currently sitting at. At the peak on June 22nd, we were sitting at about $656 for one share of this ETF. In a matter of 37 days, this ETF went down nearly 30%. Whoever invested into this ETF was down 30%. And since then, if someone invested at this top, they still didn't make their money back because since that moment, this ETF has only recovered about 15%. If you're looking to invest in this specific ETF and you're not capable of holding through these kind of dips, it might be a good idea to reconsider buying this specific ETF. But besides the short-term price action, we do have to take a look and see what the beta of this ETF is. You might be asking yourself, what does it mean when he says beta? The beta, which in this case is 2, is a way of measuring how the stock performs relative to the general market or the S&P 500. In this case, because this ETF has a beta of 2, that means that if the market moves 10%, that it can be up or down, this specific ETF will move 20%. So if the S&P 500 goes up 10%, this ETF should most likely go up 20%. Staying on the same page, another really important thing to consider when talking about the risks of a specific investment, just like this ETF, is the price to earnings ratio, or the PE ratio, where currently it sits at 61.92. That means you're paying $61.92 for $1 of earnings of the companies inside of this fund. This would be considered a very high PE ratio. While a high PE ratio isn't bad in itself, it does mean that investors are pricing in a lot of good performance and are expecting this ETF to do well over a very long period of time. So any specific bad news or a underwhelming earnings report can cause this ETF to have a massive correction and change in price. So going back to what we've discussed so far, taking a look at the performance of this ETF recently, its volatility with its beta, and considering the semiconductor sector as a whole, I'm going to give SOXX a rating of 4 out of 10 when it comes to risks. The next category that we're going to be grading SOXX on is going to be the holdings quality. We're going to take a look inside of the fund and see if the companies that it is holding are actually worth the investment or if it's a bunch of trash wrapped up into a bundle. Looking through the top holdings of this ETF, we're going to see that it is NVIDIA, AMD, Broadcom, Micron, Intel, Applied Material, and so on. All of the companies that I mentioned so far are huge names in the semiconductor industry. We have names like NVIDIA and AMD, which are staples in the semiconductor industry, but this ETF also has companies like Marvell and Applied Material, which take a different approach on semiconductors and are expected to grow a lot in the future. For example, Applied Material doesn't actually make semiconductor chips themselves. They make the actual equipment for the companies that make the chips. So you can think of it like this. If NVIDIA is making the chips, they're going to buy the tools to make those chips from Applied Materials. As long as companies continue to open up new factories, it doesn't matter who, this company should continue to see increased revenues. Marvell Technologies is also worth mentioning. Marvell is unique in the sense that they make custom AI chips for specific applications for large companies such as Google, Microsoft, NVIDIA, and Amazon. They make specific hardware that falls outside of the realm of the general AI chip production. Because of this, they're seeing significant AI chip demand, and their revenue is up 60% year over year and has positive expectations going forward. But now, summarizing this grading category, taking a look at the 34 holdings of this ETF and breaking them down individually, there's a lot of good names in this holdings list. Because of this, I'm going to give SOXX a rating of 9 out of 10 when it comes to holdings quality. So we talked about the quality of the holdings found inside this ETF. But how well are they diversified? In my opinion, when I look for an ETF, I look for one where when I invest my money, I know that it is being distributed across the sector in the best way possible to minimize the amount of risk while maximize my upside potential. So taking that approach and applying it to SOXX, if we take a look at its top 10 holdings, we can see that the top 10 holdings make up about 61% of its total assets. Just based off that, that is a very concentrated top 10 holdings. Comparing this 61% to other ETFs in the semiconductor space, this is not nearly as bad. Other ETFs like SMH were closer to the 70 or 77% mark for their top 10 holdings. Now, when it comes to the actual amount of the holdings, this ETF contains 34 holdings. Compare that to something like DRAM, which has about 14 holdings, and SMH, which has about 20 holdings. this is going to be a more diversified ETF. Just taking a quick scroll through this ETF, a lot of the stocks are quite evenly distributed. There's not one specific outlier that takes the majority of the weight. The big names are obviously going to take up the majority of the weight, but then it tapers down quite smoothly all the way to the bottom. That's not very popular amongst other semiconductor ETFs. The main honest limitation about this fund, and you can't do much about it because of its nature, is the fact that it is a non-diversified ETF. The whole point of this specific ETF is to be diversified into specific semiconductor companies, and that's the whole point of this investment. From a grading point of view, it is going to hinder its results. There's other ETFs that are a lot worse than this, and even though it is hyper-focused, it does a great job of splitting that risk across the whole sector and making sure that there's even exposure within the companies held inside this fund. I'm going to give this ETF a grading of 5 out of 10 when it comes to diversification. So now we make it to the last grading category of our video today, which is going to be the future potential for the SOXX ETF. Where can we expect this ETF to go in the future? And what can you expect if you were to invest your money? Because of the investments held inside of this ETF, if the semiconductor sector doesn't do well, it doesn't matter about the allocations inside the specific fund. If the semiconductor industry doesn't do well as a whole, then it's going to perform badly. But on that note, what can we expect of the global semiconductor industry going forward? For this, we're going to look at a report by Deloitte, where they take a look at the state of the market today and then do some projections about what we can expect it to become going forward. We saw a small slowdown in 2022 going on to 2023, but from that moment on, we've experienced a huge growth. It's beating its projection of hitting $1 trillion market by 2030 and is expected to become $1 trillion industry by 2027, meaning it hit its projected target 4 years early. With the way that things are going so far, it's expected that this kind of growth will continue going forward. The main thing driving semiconductor demand is also the AI data center boom. So the general outlook for this industry and the sector that this ETF resides in is very positive. However, one big risk is the valuation for this ETF. Current investors are pricing in a lot of this good performance going forward, meaning any bad earnings report or any change in geopolitical events can significantly swing the price of this ETF, and you should be prepared for that if you're going to be investing into it. But taking a macro point of view, considering where this industry is headed, what we can expect from it, and all the other things that we discussed, I'm going to give this ETF a rating of 8 out of 10 when it comes to future potential. Now let's take a look at the final scorecard and verdict. What does the SOXX ETF get as a grade for an ETF? Considering everything we discussed, from the returns to the risks, the holdings quality found inside this ETF, the way that those holdings are diversified, and the future potential and outlook of the sector that this ETF resides in, I think that this ETF deserves a rating of 7 out of 10. This fund definitely surprised me when it comes to the returns. There's little to none other ETFs that have the same track record as this one does. I think that based on the holdings inside of this ETF and the future outlook for this specific sector, it does have a great potential to continue to provide great returns going forward, but it's going to come with extreme volatility and a lot of up and downward swings. Thanks for making it to the end of the video today. If you enjoyed my breakdown of SOXX, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so that way you don't miss another ETF review in the future. Also, feel free to check out my channel for my other ETF reviews that I posted on other AI and similar ETFs. In the comments, let me know if you've been investing in SOXX and how long you've been investing for. And if you haven't, let me know what other AI ETFs that you've been investing in. Again, thanks for watching today's video. My name is Casey, and this was another investigative look into your wallet's future. I'll catch you in the next one.